Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. This is Newsfeed at noon on BNC, the Bilyonaryo news channel, where we give you a rundown of today's biggest stories. We begin with Tropical Storm Enteng, the fifth storm to hit the country this year. Enteng has been dumping rains across Luzon and the Visayas, where storm signals have been raised over several provinces. Enteng has also forced the suspension of government work and classes in Metro Manila. Winds from Enteng also toppled trees while flights were grounded. Pag-asa says Enteng could make landfall over Isabela or Cagayan this afternoon or tonight. The storm is expected to intensify further before leaving the Philippine area of responsibility Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. Rains from Enteng causing floods in parts of Metro Manila and in nearby provinces. Our reporter Francis Falve is on the scene in Cavite and he joins us for an update. Francis, go ahead.
Yes, Maya, as you can see behind me, some parts of Aguinaldo Highway here in Bacoor, Cavite is still submerged in gutter deep flood, making it hard to pass to small vehicles. Some residents say they saw a number of stalled vehicles this morning. They fear that the water level will still rise as the rains continue to pour today. The Bacoor LGU said that some residents in flood-prone areas already evacuated this morning. Meanwhile, dark skies and moderately strong waves were seen in Manila Bay this Monday morning. Strong winds and continuous rains washed a lot of garbage along the stretch of Baywalk. Work cancellation announcements in government offices also came a bit late since most of the employees were already at work, resulting in commuters having a hard time going back home. Mai?
Francis, we already saw flight cancellations. Do we have an update from NAIA?
Yes, Mai. That's why there are a number of passengers at the NAIA terminals who were stranded because of the canceled flights due to the bad weather. Most of these flights, Mai, are bound for the Bicol region or are coming from there going to Manila. Meanwhile, according to Pag-asa, we can still expect a downpour today for the rest of the day in some areas in Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and Bicol region. Mai?
All right, thanks, Francis, and stay safe. Francis Falve there live from Cavite. Residents near the Marikina River have been advised to evacuate as the water level has risen to second alarm. On the scene is our reporter Bea de la Cruz. Bea.
My Marikina City residents again moved to safer grounds as heavy rains from Typhoon Enteng and Habagat caused waters at Marikina River to rise. The river level reached 17 meters at 9 a.m., raising second alarm. This tells residents near the riverbank to evacuate. Families have begun to move to the Malanday Elementary School, one of the designated evacuation centers here in Marikina. Classes and work in Metro Manila have been suspended. Several areas in NCR have been issued a heavy rainfall warning by Pag-asa. Enteng is forecast to remain a tropical storm until Tuesday. It may intensify into a severe tropical storm by Wednesday, then reach a typhoon category by Thursday or Friday. Back to you.
Thank you, Bea de la Cruz, reporting live from Marikina. Aside from Metro Manila, several other areas have canceled classes today due to Enteng. There are no classes in all levels in Camarines Sur, Camarines Norte, Quezon Province, Batangas, Cavite, and Rizal. More than 2,200 people are stranded in various ports due to continuous rains. Over 1,000 of them are in eastern Visayas, while the rest are in ports in Bicol and southern Tagalog. The Philippine Coast Guard also suspended the siphoning operations in Limay, Bataan, where an oil tanker sank in late July. The Senate also suspended work today due to the storm. Senators were supposed to tackle the proposed 2025 budgets of the Office of the President, the Presidential Management Staff, and the National Security Council, among others. Sessions will resume tomorrow. At the House of Representatives, lawmakers pushed through with their deliberations on the Education Department's budget, pegged at more than 793 billion pesos, a 4% increase from its 2024 funding. Parts of Rizal are under flood warnings. In Pililla, some residents are on top of their roofs as floodwaters submerge homes. It's the same situation in Baras and in Morong, where floodwaters have reached the provincial hospital. Hospital authorities are preparing to evacuate patients in case the waters go higher. When we come back, a BNC exclusive takes us to Lapu-Lapu City in Cebu, where authorities raid an illegal POGO hub. Stay with us here on Newsfeed. We're back. This is Newsfeed on BNC. A request for assistance from Indonesia leads to a startling discovery. After being driven out of Luzon, illegal POGOs have made their way to Cebu, where Philippine authorities rescued more than 100 foreign nationals, mostly Indonesians. Nancy Carvajal has this exclusive look into the POGO raid in Lapu-Lapu City.
These foreign nationals were rounded up over the weekend in a joint operation by the National Bureau of Investigation, the Anti-Organized Crime Commission, Military Intelligence, and Immigration authorities at the Tourist Garden Hotel in Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. Recruited through Facebook, one Indonesian said they were promised work at a restaurant but ended up doing online scam. Their passports were confiscated and they weren't allowed to leave the premises.
Are not allowed to leave?
Because penalty.
We cannot get
A penalty, you'll be penal. How much is the penalty?
I don't know, you can.
If you want to leave, you pay $2,000.
Yes. Yes.
Obviously, wala silang pinapakita mga dokumento, passports and other documents to justify yung stay nila dito sa POGO hub na ito.
More than 160 foreigners were working in the scam hub when authorities swooped in on the establishment.
We have caught them in flagrante delicto in the conduct of the scamming activities.
PAOK says the resort is owned by a certain Zhao Lao. The operation was launched following a request from Indonesia to rescue its citizens forced to work as scammers in Lapu-Lapu. After being turned over to the Social Welfare Department, the rescued Indonesians will be flown to Jakarta from Manila.
Sa kabila ng panawagan ng Pangulo sa mga LGUs na maging mas paigtingin yung kanilang trabaho laban sa ganitong mga kalokohan, ibang mga LGUs mukhang nagbubulag-bulagan o nagbibingi-bingihan. Siguro naman imposibleng hindi alam ito ng LGU.
According to PAOK, the POGO has been operating in the city for some time now, but the mayor says he's unaware of it.
Ngayon na namin nalaman na merong ganito, no? Merong nag-a-apply sa amin for legal POGO. Yung nasa City Times Square po, when they ban all the POGOs, pinastop na yung processing ng applications.
In his third State of the Nation address, President Bongbong Marcos announced a total ban on POGOs due to numerous criminal activities being linked to the industry. The crackdown has led to several closures in Luzon, but it appears the battleground has shifted to other areas.
Meron na tayong mga ini-interview na admin sila dun sa POGO hub. And now, dito natin sila nakuha sa POGO hub dito sa Cebu.
Nancy Carvajal, BNC.
Workers who were able to escape the raided POGOs in Porac, Pampanga and Bamban, Tarlac were also among those arrested in the Lapu-Lapu operation. The PAOK says some of the workers admitted they used to work for Lucky South 99 in Porac. Others said they voluntarily took the job out of poverty. Among the items seized during the raid were cell phones used in various scams and a script that the workers used to entice their victims. So-called administrators who were paid between 80 and 100,000 pesos were also arrested. The PAOK also tells BNC not all Indonesian nationals found in the raided POGO hub were forced to work there illegally. And at the forefront, PAOK spokesperson Winston Casio said they were supposed to rescue 13 Indonesians, but only 6 were found to have been held against their will. The rest voluntarily worked in the scam farm. He asserts all those arrested will be criminally charged. They include 5 alleged bosses and 4 Filipino administrative staff.
We were able to catch the owner of the Tourist Garden Hotel. And mind you, this guy is obviously guilty. He has already attempted to bribe me 3 times as of last night. He made his 3rd attempt to bribe me to allow to just let him go. So obviously this guy is caught red-handed. And 4, if I'm not mistaken, 4 different Chinese managers, team leaders, were caught in this particular operation. We've got all the evidence we have to file qualified trafficking charges against the bosses, and we've got enough to file immigration charges against all foreign nationals.
Lapu-Lapu City Mayor Junard Chan has denied prior knowledge of the illegal POGO, but he vows stricter monitoring of establishments following Saturday's raid. Turning now to the Israel-Hamas war, massive protests gripping Tel Aviv and Jerusalem following the deaths of 6 hostages in Gaza. Crowd estimates place the number of demonstrators at around 500,000. Videos show police clashing with protesters who are calling on the Israeli government to do more in securing the release of the remaining hostages in Gaza. Hamas is still holding over 100 Israeli and foreign hostages, but most of them are feared to have died. Researchers in Scotland are hoping to lead the way in tackling cybercrime with the development of what they describe as a potentially unhackable network. This report.
A team of researchers in Scotland is hoping to revolutionise data security by developing a potentially unhackable national quantum network. The Integrated Quantum Networks Hub, or IQN, will be led by a group from Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh. It is one of 5 hubs announced by the UK government as part of a $200 million government investment. The aim of the IQN is to boost cybersecurity by enhancing defences against hacking and connecting future quantum computers. Charlotte Dean, Executive Chair of the UK's Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, says programming on a quantum computer is very different from programming on a classical computer.
There is a property that we can use that allows us to program things in a different way, which means we can do things faster or we can solve different types of problems.
So what can a quantum internet do? Gerald Buller, who will lead the IQN hub, explains.
Potentially, you can have ultra-secure system. Essentially, it gives a degree of security that is extremely high and potentially unhackable, but it would have to be used in certain ways to do that.
The quantum internet uses principles of quantum mechanics and artificial intelligence to create unbreakable encryption keys.
In other quantum technologies such as sensing and imaging, AI is already being used to take the data and make it process it faster and get more believable results. So AI is already here with quantum technology. It remains to be seen just how big a part it will play in the quantum internet of the future.
The project also aims to tackle cybercrime, projected to cost the world about $9.5 trillion a year by the end of 2024, Authentic ID's State of Identity Fraud report says. Cybersecurity expert Andrew Patel cautions that no system will ever be impervious to the main weak link in the chain, people.
A quantum internet wouldn't prevent other common cyber attacks, such as social engineering, exploits, or malware. The weak link is often people and people being tricked into doing things that they didn't want to.
The UK hopes these new quantum hubs will pave the way for the country to become a global leader in quantum innovation. The hubs are expected to drive entrepreneurship, workforce development and regulatory input into the UK's rapidly emerging quantum industry.
Provinces in the Bicol region are among the hardest hit by enteng. Abante Radio stringer Rosas Olarte is monitoring developments in Albay. Rosas, kamusta ang Albay?
May hanggang sa mga oras na ito, lubog pa rin sa baha ang mababang lugar dito sa Bicol dahil sa bagyong Enteng. Mula sa Catanduanes Province, sinagupit na ni Enteng ang bahaing lugar sa Virac at karating ng mga bayan kagabi. Kinansila na rin ang biyahe ng barko mula nang itaas ang typhoon signal mula pa kahapon. Hanggang ngayon ay malawak pa rin ang baha sa Camarines Sur. Maging ang capital city nito, ang Naga City, ay lubog pa rin sa tubig ang mabababang lugar. Ang Minalabak National High School ay halos bubong na lang ang nakikita. Sa Libon, Albay, patuloy pa ang search and rescue operations ng local government sa mga binahang lugar. Sa Camarines Norte, pang official report ng epekto ng malakas na ulan. Binayo ni Enteng ang mga bayan sa Bicol na sakop ng Bicol River Basin, kaya ang unpredicted rainfall amount ay naging dahilan ng biglang pagtaas ng tubig sa mga bayang sakop ng Bicol River Basin o BRB. Aabot sa 1,000 katao naman at mahigit 200 sasakyang pagdagat ang hindi nakabiyahe. Kansilado ang flight sa mga paliparan galing Bicol at papuntang Metro Manila. Lahat ng local disaster officials ay abala sa field, kaya maging pagpapadala ng official updates sa Regional Disaster Council o lalo na sa Office of Civil Defense ay naantala pa. 2 mangingisda ang iniulat na nawawala sa Karamuran, Catanduanes. Binavalidate rin ang umano isang bangkay na natagpuan kanina sa Bato, Camarines Sur. Rosas Olarte para sa Abante BNC Integrated News.
Rosas, kamusta ang power situation? Meron pa bang kuryente dyan sa Albay at sa mga ilang lugar dyan sa Bicol?
Kagabi ay lalo na sa Naga City dahil sa may nakuryente, may isang insidente ng nakuryente. Mismong ang mayor ng Naga ang nag-request na i-cut off mo ng supply. Pero kaninang madaling araw ay nakabalik na ang kuryente. Dito sa Albay, so far wala namang pagputol ng supply ng kuryente sa mga oras na ito, Mike.
Alright, mag-ingat kayo dyan, Rosas. At ang sabi ng Pag-asa, lalakas pa raw ang bagyong Enteng. Maraming salamat, Rosas Olarte, Abante Radio stringer. Oil giant Shell announces a price hike effective 6 a.m. of Tuesday. Shell is raising gasoline prices by 50 centavos per liter, diesel by 30 centavos, and kerosene by 70 centavos. Other oil firms are expected to follow suit. South Korea's exports rise for an 11th straight month, but at a slower pace. Overseas sales in August increased 11.4% year-on-year to $58 billion. That's weaker than the 13.9% gain in July, which was the fastest in 6 months. This comes as demand for computer chips also slowed to a 5-month low, while auto sales fell for a third consecutive month. Coming up, the 14 richest Filipinos on Forbes' billionaires list buck ghost month as their combined wealth rises in August. The details when Newsfeed returns. We're back. You're still watching Newsfeed at noon. Heading now to New York for the latest on the U.S. Open. Defending champion Coco Gauff becomes the latest big name to exit the competition. Emma Navarro notched an upset victory, beating her fellow American for the second time in a Grand Slam this year. Gauff was looking to avenge her Wimbledon loss to Navarro, but the 13th seed stunned the Arthur Ashe Stadium with a dominant all-round display as she advances to the quarterfinal. As for Gauff, her loss will see her drop out of the top 5 world rankings. In entertainment, Hollywood A-listers Brad Pitt and George Clooney lit up the Venice Film Festival. The pair walked the red carpet for the premiere of their new film, Wolves. They reunited on screen 16 years after they last appeared together in the 2008 comedy Burn After Reading. The two clearly enjoyed the glare of the cameras, with Clooney even joining photographers in the media pen. Before we go, the ghost month wasn't so spooky after all for the country's taipans. The combined wealth of the 14 richest Filipinos on Forbes' real-time billionaires list climbed 18% over the past month to $51 billion. That's triple the 4.2% rise in the Philippine Stock Exchange over the same period. Property tycoon Manny Villar is the biggest gainer thanks to his listed cemetery business as Golden MV Holdings' market value topped the 1 trillion peso mark. The second biggest gainer is ports and casino mogul Ricky Razon, whose wealth got a boost from the 11% rally of the International Container Terminal Services after their stock climbed to an all-time high. Lucio Tan, the country's longest tenured ultra-billionaire, and Jollibee Foods' Tony Tan Caktiong also increased their wealth by 8%. Meanwhile, the SM Group's C siblings tally a combined net worth of $13 billion, up 4% for the month. Pure Gold's Susan Ko also makes her return to the list after a 3-month hiatus. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Stay tuned to BNC for more top-of-the-hour news on Free TV Channel 31 and also on our website, bnc.ph. Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.